We are back with the Fox News alert for you. The hacker group Anonymous now claiming it has taken down more than 25,000 accounts with ties to ISIS since the rogue group declared war on the terrorists in the wake of those Paris attacks. At first, people around the world were applauding these hackers for helping stop the flow of propaganda. But did they actually do more harm than good? Congressional anti-terrorism advisor Michael Smith works with a counterintelligence group called Ghost Security to warn the government of terrorist online actions. He joins us now to weigh in. Good morning to you, Michael.
Hey, good morning. It's great to be with Fox and Friends.
So precisely how is this group doing more harm than good when it comes to cybersecurity and taking down these accounts with ISIS, sir?
Well, look, I think that it's very easy for the net effect of what Anonymous is advising its members to do to be one of interference, as in interference with ongoing online intelligence operations. There's a great deal of work underway to identify important communications which can be gathered from various elements, uses of social media, in particular the Islamic State's members and support base. So if you're going out and you're putting pressure on Twitter to knock down 1,000 accounts, it's very likely that a number of those accounts are being utilized not only by the enemy, but also occasionally by people who want to gather information about what the enemy's plans are.
Sure. Well, when I heard that a couple of days ago when they had already taken down 5,000 Twitter accounts, I thought, oh, that's really good. But what you're saying is there actually is some value to some of those things left online?
Yeah, there can be. And frankly, any sort of disruption activity in terms of trying to disrupt a terrorist group, that's something that has to be coordinated with officials who have the authority to go out and to find, fix and finish the enemy, not just rogue activity like this.
Michael, we keep hearing about encrypted apps and that being the problem, that we've gone dark in following them. And these are our most higher up cybersecurity guys, including our FBI director. What's the reality there?
Well, the reality is that, you know, in terms of my awareness of all of that, it largely revolves around the work that's being performed by collectors at Ghost Security Group, who are doing a remarkable job of putting together lists of not just channels that are being advertised by the Islamic State's propagandists, but also accounts utilized by real influencers online who are now communicating through more secure platforms like Telegram Messenger. Sure. You know, the FBI and other agencies are really doing a remarkable job of frankly keeping their finger on the pulse of all of this.
But they're putting their hands up and saying, we can't hear, we can't see. They are frustrated and they're worried.
No doubt about it. The Islamic State, with this massive influence operations program that it has going on online, is overwhelming the system. There's definitely a need for some outside eyes on the targets, but all of that has to be very closely coordinated with the appropriate officials. And in terms of things like Telegram Messenger, you know, there's a lot of room also for additional eyes on those targets.
Is there, Michael, is there pressure from the government for this group Anonymous to stop doing what it's doing? Because as Steve said, at first glance, it seemed like a good thing they're getting rid of these accounts. But in fact, if there's intel that can be gathered from these accounts, what kind of pressure is the government putting on this group to halt their activities?
Well, I think that it's important for officials to highlight very explicitly the net negative effects of what it is that Anonymous is encouraging people to do right now. You know, there is room for outside support, and everybody can appreciate their enthusiasm for this target. But, you know, the type of activity they propose to do, frankly, can just interfere with ongoing investigations again.
I just wonder if they're better than us. Are they better than our cyber terror guys?
I don't know that. I mean, they certainly have some people there who have remarkable skill sets. Look, I think the most important thing right now would be for the president to issue an executive order that gives FBI Director Comey and his subordinates greater latitude to utilize things like consent for otherwise illegal activity so that they can tap into some of these skill sets of outside actors.
Because, Michael, it is true that sometimes the federal government will say to organizations like yours, you know, don't take down that particular website because we're using it. Right?
Well, I'm unaware of any communications to that effect, but I do know for a fact that, you know, the FBI doesn't want people going out and breaking federal law in order to try to go after the Islamic State. You know, those are things that occur pursuant to court orders and, again, consent for otherwise illegal activity.
All right. All right. Michael Smith joining us today from Charleston, South Carolina. Michael, interesting stuff. Thank you very much.